Bombad.
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What is up, Bombad fam? This is your boy, the Canon Junkie. I am here once again on a lovely Bombad Friday with my co-host, my co-friend, Mr. Scotty J. Rowe. Scotty, how are you doing, sir?
Before this, you were telling me how we were more than friends, but okay, okay. I don't know why you just lied to the audience.
Man, we are really laying it on thick for the kids right now, aren't we? Sorry, I told you we'll talk after they go to bed. So
Okay, yes, sir. But no, we've got amazing guests. Gerald, my partner in crime,
We do,
or in sensual affairs. We've got the only two of the host from We Serve Droids. Yes, I'm referring to Scott and Chris, and this episode might get a little confusing with as many Scotts as they go around, and maybe Chris's, but Jerry's not a Chris.
They're
but anyway,
sprouting.
boys,
It's like someone poured water on you, and you're just like sprouting all over the place, man. It's crazy.
yes. like
Gremlins reference.
Yes. But anyway, boys, welcome to the show.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
Yeah, likewise. Great to be here.
Aww.
So I'm alternate Scott for your viewers, your listeners who don't know our voices.
Yes. They're just...
If you don't, you should totally go check their voices out, because their podcast too. Because guys, these are some great, fantastic. If you love our show, you're gonna love We Serve Droids for sure.
Yes.
Because they love the Weirdos too. Like, it's like kind of their thing. Shout out to Devore, who I believe is one of your friends. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Devore Mondum? All right. He is one of like our, he's always commenting on our stuff, like hanging out in our live streams. He's an awesome dude. Love him to pieces. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on, especially for such a landmark episode of the Bombadcast.
It truly is. It truly is. And like... We're having you on because of the unbiased opinion, because recently we had an episode where Jerry and I both had very strong opinions about something, and we need someone to break our opinions and kind of...
Obviously still fighting.
Obviously.
I actually brought my Ronto down here tonight, Scott.
Oh, God.
We're fighting about the special editions, and I brought my Ronto from when I was a child that I would sleep with every night, because that's what you do with these. It was very hard with the pointy, ears and stuff, but I freaking love it. I don't have the Jawa. The Jawa, look, Scott, it's got Jawa bucking action, and I am completely serious. I am 100% serious. The Jawa sits right there, and you buck him off. And pardon my French to those of you who might have misheard what I just said just then. So, anyway.
It's all right. I speak Jawa like a Wookiee.
There you go.
Oh, good one. Good one. Deep
nice.
cut. No, why would you just... Jerry. Well, I don't know. I guess you could
I'm going to keep it going, man. I'm going to keep it going. So.
Well, the Ronto is almost kind of a weirdo thing because it's such a post-edition thing to Star Wars, but no,
they're all over the Phantom Menace, man, too. They're all over, like,
oh, yeah, they are.
Do you remember that?
I forget that.
He just, like, pastes them. He's got, like, a copy-paste button, but it's just a Ronto picture on it or something. And he just, like, copy and pastes them, like, all over the place just to piss you off. So.
Is this the thing that, like, kind of farts on Jar Jar? I can't remember.
That is a... No, I actually know what farts on Jar Jar. It's an EOP. Which one of the best the best tweets I ever saw was when someone was talking about Rise of Skywalker, the end where that old woman is coming through with that like whatever beast of burden, and they called it a Kirkland EOP. and I thought that was the best. Like, I laughed so effing hard at that. It was hilarious. But anyway, so I wish I could shout you out, but that was like probably the best joke I've ever seen on the internet. So it's so deep. It's so deep.
Specific. Oh my god. No, that's amazing.
They know my sense of humor too well, of course.
That was good. Well, Jerry, since you're the mastermind of this entire episode, why don't you explain to the listeners and our guest what the heck we were doing this entire March besides quarantining and social distancing and not
besides
talking to one
watching
another.
every movie we own and
yeah, that's true. That is true.
Well, man, I'm the mastermind, so Godspeed to us all right now. But so I wanted to do kind of a March Madness thing. I don't know if you guys remember, I guess they don't do it anymore. They used to do on StarWars.com, This Is Madness. And it was basically, they would just have, it's all the like A-list characters, right? And I mean, like, they would have some from the animation and all that, and they would kind of like, every day or whatever, you'd have like a new matchup. It was a huge bracket, dark side versus light, and eventually you'd have a dark sider and a light sider facing off at the end. And,
Yeah, I remember
it's
that.
more than, I mean, it's Han, it's everybody. You know, it's the smugglers, it's the princesses, it's the queens, the Jedi, Sith, pirates, what have you. And I loved that, man. Like, I wasted so many hours that I could have been working at my like first job when I got married, just voting to make sure that Watto made it to the next bracket, and so I wanted to keep something going in that spirit. And so my long-winded way of telling you all why I kind of came up with this. I know a lot of people are trying to do Star Wars, like, March Madness things. Everyone tries to do their own version of March Madness. But I just wanted to do a weirdo thing because we love the weirdos here at the Bombadcast. I know Scott and Chris are like that's almost like your brand is the weirdos, and so that's hey, we fit right in. So we did this huge tournament, and I say huge. I'm surprised that I kept up with every single day of this, Scott. There were a couple of days you guys might have noticed the polls didn't go up till like halfway through the day. But we made it. We made it, guys. Here we are. Good job to everyone. Kudos. And I'm going to stop talking, and we can all just kind of get into the real nitty-gritty tonight of the not the Wonderful Weirdos, the March Weirdness tournament. So let's get into it, Scott.
We might have some listeners who did not start from the beginning, and that's fine because we welcome any newcomer to this. And our guests currently might not know. But Jerry, what in the hell is a Star Wars weirdo? Whenever that phrase is brought up, what do you mean by that?
I think I want to ask Scott and Chris because they're being too quiet, and so I'm going to pick on them. Guys, how would you define a Star Wars weirdo? Because I've talked for like 15 minutes now, so I'm done. Probably for the rest of the episode.
Well, when you've got a Ronto in your bed, you can't last that long. I've been waiting 20 minutes to make that joke, just so you know, Jerry.
Gosh. Oh, that's the new Kirkland Diope right there, man. That's awesome.
So I think that like one thing that every Star Wars fan has in common is we've all seen these movies so many times. Mm-hmm. There's just all these great background characters, and everyone has a favorite.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone has that one dude, that one person in the background that you just love seeing. That you bought the visual guides when you were a kid, and you tried to look them up to find out who it was or what their species was, and you just get tickled thinking about them. Like you'll be out in the street, and you're like, that guy looks like Mom Al Naden the Hammerhead, and you get kind of tickled just thinking about it.
Depends on what the tickle is, but yeah, you definitely get a tickle.
Well, yeah, is it the Ronto in your bed, or is it? There you go. Well, you're good.
No, it's funny. Those weirdos almost come to the forefront at some point in your like Star Wars thinking. Like there's a weird thing I have with people. genuinely care about people's routines, and that's my entire life. Like, I've always been like, what does my teacher do when they get home? You know, like, what do they do? So, like, my idea, like, about the weirdos, like, what does a day off for Wat Tambor look like? Like,
Oh my gosh.
Is it like sunbathing, or is he like building stuff? And he's like, "Look, Mom, look at my Legos. Look at my Legos. Look at this Razor Crest." Like, I wonder what
You mean
these
look at this
weirdos
Razor Crest.
No, it's like, I guess it's my obsession with weirdos. It's like, what is their motive? Because half of these people just show up for 2 seconds and then they're gone, or they get a whole comic series, or even in Legends. Like, a couple of these on the list we got, like, they've got great Legend stories. Like, we could take whole episodes and do Wikipedia, you know, like, analysis of their stories and stuff. So I don't know. Chris, any opinions on weirdos to you? Is there any weirdo that might have touched your heart at some point?
Well, we've kind of built our brand around one particular weirdo. We have a recurring gimmick on most episodes where we give out a fur jacket, and that is in honor of, I think, Scott and my favorite character in all of Star Wars now, a guy you can see in the background of Maz Kanata's Cantina. We just call him the fur jacket guy.
Yeah.
And, Scott has an interesting story actually about reaching out for some authoritative answer on this person's name or existence.
I don't encourage people to do this, but so sorry to everyone about what's the guy's name? Crap. It's like my hero,
Pablo
and I can't
Hidalgo?
think of his name.
I can always
Pablo
edit this
Hidalgo?
out if we need to.
Is it Pablo Hidalgo?
Yeah, Paulo Hidalgo.
Okay.
Yeah. So, apologies to everyone for whom Paulo Hidalgo eventually blocked us all on Twitter. Because I want a campaign of trying to find out, like, does this guy have a name? Does this guy have a backstory? Is there, like, someone on an extra sheet who played this guy who I could write letters to? And so I just started tweeting at, like, everyone I could think of that would be involved in Star Wars. And eventually I got through to Paulo Hidalgo, who was super kind and was like, "Nah, man, this is just some dude. You gotta give it up, buddy." He was very sweet about it.
Oh man, that's awesome. See, I'm just now holding my Force Awakens visual dictionary. I was about to be like, "Oh man, is it?" But Pablo, man, has some like interesting nuggets that he just like drops inside of these things, and that's funny. He's just some guy. Like, we need to like get him like. Are you familiar with the panel that Tom Spina and Tom Spina of Real Robot and Pablo do at celebrations? They have it the last couple of years. It is you. Oh man, you're gonna love it. You're gonna want to go back and rewatch the. You're gonna want to try to get to Celebration if civilization as we know it has not crumbled into oblivion. It is, I forget what it's called exactly, but they basically go through and name every one of the background characters in the Cantina of New Hope. And they'll they'll go through and they'll talk about each of these people, and at the end of the panel they'll pick someone and they'll name one of the characters after you.
So
like
cool.
they'll you get to name them or something. It's like kind of insane and awesome. It's really like, if you're into like those details like that, it's amazing. So you should check that out. But they should move on. All that to say, after they do the rest of the background actors in the Cantina, they should totally move on to Maz Kanata's castle.
Yeah.
Because that is like the next biggest awesome scene, and I know exactly who you're talking about too. Like it's like when Maz, that's like that quick zoom on Maz, right? When Han first walks in. Am I thinking of the right guy? Who like?
So I've tried. I didn't hit the send button. Here we go. So he's by the door.
Right. Okay.
Notice that. What is that?
He's got this just comically large fur coat on, right up to his like awesome sunglasses and bald head. And there's a couple continuity errors.
Yes!
We Zapruder filmed this fur jacket guy. And there's like a couple continuity errors where he's there and the camera will cut and he'll suddenly be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we may have concocted now there are two of them kind of backstory.
If you were to like go up to J.J. Abrams, like ask him any question, if you go to this particular, could you imagine? He's like, there was just one guy in the background in Montana's castle. It's this fur dude with glasses on, and they look like wayfarers. Like they don't even look like Star Wars glasses.
I was gonna say, are those just like star-shaped sunglasses?
Novelty sunglasses.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Okay? Did Moby just wander into set or something there? And like they just didn't know and he fit in, so they're like, just keep him.
So strange.
That is awesome and fantastic. Well, I know someone who might need to make it onto next year's March Madness tournament. Man, that is fantastic. He needs a name. He needs a name. Space Moby? I don't know. Like that's amazing. I love that. I know. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I see that guy. I know I've seen that guy, and like, oh my gosh, that is just amazing.
That's a deep cut.
Anyway.
See, that's what we're looking for.
That is a good catch.
That's exactly what we're looking for with this episode. So, like, this is perfect, you know? Yeah. And well, those are some fantastic answers. What a weirdo is, I guess. To kind of round it back out, a weirdo to me is someone that's like, you know, they're eclectic enough as a background character to catch your attention and completely take you away from one of your viewings of the movie. So, like, I know y'all joked about Ben Fortuna on one of your last episodes, but like Ben Fortuna is one of those for me. Like I get so giddy when he walks up to R2 and he's like stroking R2. I'm like, that's so freaking weird.
Back of his hand. He's got like the coke nails and stuff. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And
oh,
just
dude.
like just the what does he say when they leave? Icho. Or like he's like damn it, I can't remember exactly what it is.
Lucha or something.
He's like just like that.
I just like
"Icho,"
bottomed
and then he
out
goes.
my waves on my recorder here.
Well, no, it's
a good quality note.
It's just stuff like that like just completely gets me enamored for Star Wars. And I know it's not intentional, but I think that's what George kind of founded everything on. He loves fluff in scenes, and it's very obvious. He loves stuff that walks by. Like, I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with the Clone Wars most recent episode, or I think it was not this week's, but the last week's at the time of this recording. They had one of the what's the walrus looking people? I forget their species.
Walrus
names.
Man. Well,
Yes.
It's you gonna make me show how much of a nerd I am, Scott? Come on,
Yes, you have to.
It's an Aqualish. But
Yes.
it is the they had the
Nice.
whole Cantina action figure crew in that one shot. It was a couple shots, right?
In their Kenner costumes, so like
Yeah,
it was
and
just
in their
little stuff like
leotards.
that. And honestly,
They were on the
Aqualish.
way. They were on the way to perform Shakespeare in the Park and got caught. In the middle of that. So
Aqualish also, not great Jethro Tull album.
no.
no.
Aqualish was the one that not many people had that vinyl.
No, they don't. Unfortunately,
No,
it was
But-
melted in their parents' attics for good reason. They used the models, like the Kenner-looking models, as the character models in that episode. And the whole time I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, that plot really sucked. These past two episodes have been terrible. But like, I'm just being transparent. So I'm watching it.
Oh, we're gonna fight again.
I'm watching
again, Scotty.
I'm watching them, and I look in the background, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like the Kenner toy I've seen. So it completely took me out, and it helped me glue on to those characters. So that's what a weirdo does to me. And we have a huge list of weirdos for this March, March Weirdness, competition. And Jerry, do you want to go through each one of them, kind of? And we can't really explain how they were chosen. We put a bunch of like suggestions out there on Twitter, like, hey, send us your suggestions, and we took every one of them we got, essentially. And Jerry had to be the one to bracket them up. So Jerry, what was the deal with that?
Well, I kind of just ended up. I tried to really just spread them out as like weirdly as I possibly could. I didn't want anybody to really have. I didn't want to group any like era together or like type of content. So like we had people from. We actually had a good mix, man. We had a real. We had a real Chex mix of competition going on here. It was really nice.
But only one of them will be the brown chip.
That you like. We had those. Yeah, we had the Gardetto chips. We had the little breadsticks, the pretzels. We even had the raisins and the M&Ms in this one. And no, we got a little bit of everything from every era and almost every piece of Star Wars content.
That's true.
But let's just kind of go through, and I want you guys to let's just kind of get our. I want to get some like reactions from you. Let's see who if any of these names affect you. You know, what you're if you know who they are or what. So what's
you can always take a second to look them up too. You know, before because that's one of the best reactions. We had an episode, our second episode ever, or third, I guess, really, was this same exact thing. And the funny part of it was we had moments where Jerry and I looked up what each of us were talking about, and then their photos popped up, and it was just hilarious. And this first one is probably one of the most obscure one. Patrick Covey was the one that. Right. Was the one that kind of said do this one. And the first one is Graf Zappalo, and he's on the council in the Phantom Menace. And oh my God, he is so late 90s. He's got like a soul patch. He's kind of balding.
He doesn't have a soul patch, man. He has like the soul patch to end all soul patches.
Yes.
I mean, his soul patch has a soul patch. So, it's like
I don't know if
he makes the guy from Smash Mouth look like a freaking baby. You know, I mean, it's insane. This dude's soul patch. Anyway, it also it reminds me. I live on. Man, I was about to give out the road I live on in Holland. Come kill me. Doors are always unlocked. No, but it reminds me of the name of my street, which is a Dutch name. And so it's just he's very Dutch with his very big soul patch, I guess. So that's that a thing.
You know how like in the 90s people thought like if I grew a soul patch I'll be cool with the kids.
Yeah.
Right. Like I mean this guy he works with like queens who are like 12 years old. Right. He's trying to get like the sweet cabinet position. He's like I know what I'm gonna ride a skateboard next week.
Well, he looks like, and his hair is like up too, right? Like he's got like an updo. I'm just pulling up his pic here from Attack of the Clones, and like, I mean, he's got almost like a bump, you know, like you know, the thing kind of girls were doing like 5 years ago, I think. Like,
that was 10, Jerry.
What?
That was 10 years ago. That was like.
Was that 10?
Yes. Jerry, you're such a boomer.
I don't even know what, dude. I don't even know what time it is. Hey, would you shut up, you baby? I was just looking up because he looks like he should be someone famous, like insanely famous. His name is Sacha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it looks like Sting is like playing a character in Star Wars for a second.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's
totally the vibe.
Sacha Tartar, but it's like he looks like one of those dudes who's like George just like found him in Italy or wherever in Spain and was like, you're very handsome. Would you like to sit in a stone chair?
He looks kind of dirty, but I don't know if that's like just the eyes he gave me.
Are you like dirty intentions? Or
he looked like he would dirty intentions. He looks like he'd tell you a really sick joke and then try to play it off, and you're like, what the hell? Like, you freak.
He honestly looks like he moonlights at NASCAR stadiums or something.
No, this is the kind of guy that would like convince you to take acid in college, and he would be like he was the older RA that no one wanted to talk to, and he was like, just take the acid, man. It's gonna chill you out.
If there
real
is
quick.
an older RA in college, if there's someone who's older than they should be in college, take this from me. I was this guy. Van Wilder is a lie. It is a lie. There is no such thing as Van Wilder. It's very sad.
It's funny because he sits next to C.O. Bibble, who's got the like it doesn't kill you if it's natural vibe.
Yeah.
Like he's in a totally different brand of drugs than this guy whose name I've already forgotten.
Yeah.
Graf Zappolo.
They're like
Man, like C.O. Bibble is like 100%. Like he is. He's on like the hard stuff, you know. Like and like you just got like Mr. Graf Zappolo who's on designer drugs and stuff.
Yeah, he's on
like,
with the hip drugs. He's on like the coolest drugs to do, not the the most mind opening. Well, C.O. Bibbo's on ayahuasca during the whole movie. We've got Graf Zappolo taking some good old X the whole time.
It looks like Graf Zappolo though wants to sell you some weed, like after the meeting's done, for sure.
Some really terrible weed.
And I mean, unless there are more thoughts on Graf Zappolo, we should probably move on because this dude is like he's definitely one of those. He is a certain flavor of Star Wars character that you can find. You can just find them, especially in the prequels, just like hanging out. So
that's good.
Yeah.
God, that's good.
So next we have Albrecht. And Albrecht is a fairly new I think he's the newest one that we have on the list. He is I have the visual dictionary here. I believe he is no lie. I think the species name is Simeon.
Simeon?
Which I'm like,
really?
Appropriate.
That's amazing.
I think Pablo was tired when he wrote that.
Yeah.
He had to be.
4:59 on a Friday.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't know. It looks like a monkey. Honestly, what were your reactions like in December when they get to the part where we're like, you remember like everyone freaking out about Kylo's helmet being reforged in the trailer? Like, oh, they got hairy hands. Hairy hands.
Yeah.
And we get to the moment. Yep. And it's like, he's got like a chimpanzee face. It's like Dunstan checks in to the Knights of Ren spaceship. Like, what do you got? I don't know. What were your reactions to Albrecht in December?
Chris, you got anything?
I just remember when you see the hand shot in the trailer, just thinking like, man, this guy can't really weld for a living because there's no way he has that much hair in his hands.
On fire.
and that working that close to fire all the time.
Oh my gosh,
that's
amazing.
What about you, Scott?
I'm still looking here. Go ahead. I'm looking for the actual name of the species here.
It's Simeong. I think there's a G on
Is there a G? Yeah. Simeong. That's. Oh man, he was tired. He's like, I don't want to throw a G on it.
I like to think that he was like college buddies with Babu Frick, and they like got bad blood. Like one became evil, one became good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this guy, Dr. Zayas over here. He like took the easy money working for the big corporation, and Babu Frick was into like designing like freeware software, and they eventually just grew to hate each other.
See, Babu Frick like jailbroke like iPhone like 3GSs, and then we've had like Albrecht was like on the dark web buying like lives. So that's just the kind of people that they are. I bet that's what they do. But my impression of them when I first saw him was like, this is like the most like earthly looking Star Wars character, and like straight up was like, that's a monkey. Like, and then it did that weird thing, was like like it had like a little mouth moment, or like, and he kept going, and I'm like, this is weird.
All the best Star Wars background characters have good mouth moments.
Yes,
if we're honest.
Now,
I think when.
Oh, what's up, Joe?
I think when Scotty noticed that they were all monkeys, he just went like full Charlton Heston and was like, "We blew it up,
dirty ape!" Like stands up in the theater.
Damn you all to hell! And I'm hitting the side of
You destroyed it.
No,
Oh, you blew it up. Oh man, dude, I'm not gonna lie. At first I was like, that's an effing chimpanzee. Like until it pulls, but as soon look, get this, though, Scott. This is how twisted my brain is. As soon as it pulls out and you see that he has like goblin ears, I was like, all right, I'll allow it. It's a monkey with goblin ears. We're cool, JJ. Okay, but it's funny because it's like a monkey in goggles. I'm like, is this? Did Caesar get a job or something? Like,
pretty much.
What's going on? Time traveling now? Space travel? I don't know. There's a lot in there. You look like a Doctor Who character, honestly. If we're completely honest. So.
Our next choice is probably the most divisive background weirdo, because some people greatly dislike these episodes, where I honestly think it's actually one of my favorite arcs in Clone Wars because it's so ridiculous and so George Lucas. Like, Jerry, how would George have written this? Like, what do a George writing this episode? Because it's just so freaking weird.
Wasn't it his idea?
It was either him or Dave, and wait.
Dave, I got a real hot one for you. Okay. Okay. So, I feel like five guys stuck in the desert trying to find a city. But all of them are droids except for one, and he's just a frogman. And they run into Jackson the rabbit, but it's just a skeleton. So we find out that there are giant rabbits in the universe too, but he's dead. And the only thing that saves him is lizard ostriches. All right, I think it's the best thing I've come up with, honestly, since Empire. And I also really want a sequence that makes me feel like I'm in the early version of Star Tours. So, and write fuel in plain English on the thing at the end. Don't do Arbresh. No. Yeah. So, I actually love those episodes too. Like I think when you're first like binge watching through it, you're like, what is you hit a wall, because I think it's like right in between. That's season 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's like the big Maul season, right?
Yes.
It's like Maul is back, and it's like Maul's back, and now we're gonna take a little break here with the droids and all of that. And
isn't R2KT in that episode as well, if I'm not mistaken?
QTKT, which is a cute name and stuff. It's QTKT, but it is an homage to R2KT, which is the droid. Were they 501st, or they were droid builders, right?
Yeah,
some droid builders. Their daughter passed away. Correct?
Mm-hmm. I think it was 501st. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but it was a great homage.
She passed away, I believe, from cancer, and there's an honorary like R2 unit that has appeared in. It's appeared in the movies too.
I've been around the real one, mad at that Celebration, and I was like, "Is this the original?" Like, that's the original. Took a picture with it, and pretty cool.
That's really cool.
But the character of this, the small frog man, not Kermit, is Niebuhr Gascon.
No, smaller. Think smaller.
I love the feeling of this character, because it's like a little I don't know, like I feel like it's. Niebuhr himself is like such a low voice character for being such a tiny little dude, and he's like bouncing off of them. It's just like he's a great little leader. I really do like this character, and I think he is a weirdo. He's not a background weirdo though, like the other two we've had. This is truly a memorable character.
This is a foreground weirdo right here. So.
Yeah,
he's big time. He's big time. So,
well, boys, y'all have any opinions on Niebuhr in particular?
I mean, I can't say that Honey, I Shrunk the Old Republic Colonel is my favorite plot line from Clone Wars, but I do love like playing with sizes of characters. It's such a big galaxy. Like we ought to run into this more,
right?
Mm-hmm. And like I remember when The Force Awakens came out, one thing that that Chris and I wondered when you only got that giant hologram of Snoke.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, is he just like giant?
Yeah.
And we're so disappointed when he was like regular sized. So I want more of this. You know, if anyone who's played Super Mario Brothers 3 knows like big things, little things,
Yes.
that's a lot of fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, I want to see the world. I want to go to this dude's planet where, like, you know, it's Gulliver's Travels, which they kind of play with Gulliver's Travels in this story
Yeah.
arc, right?
Yes, they do.
Well, no, that's
I wanna see
actually
all these Lilliputian guys.
that's later. Like that's just R2 and 3PO. They do. They go on like I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
They like basically save the little guy, the Falleen, which is like the little guy who dies in a fiery crash in Phantom Menaces, where when his family was watching, like they made that like a detail officially, which is kind of dark. It's like, his family was there watching. It's in his like bio, I think. I
can do his noise.
his data file on the Star Wars database. So.
But yeah, I like these ideas of planets of just like giant stuff and tiny stuff.
Yeah. It is pretty awesome. And he's a good example of that. And I think he lost first round too in our matchups, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he, Jared?
I think he I think he moved on. I'm pretty sure he made it to round 2. But
all right.
what I
He's
love
no Graf Zappolo, come on.
No. Graf Zappolo was like day 1. He was matchup number 1, I believe, against
He was in the
Albrecht.
play-in game for the tournament.
He
number one
man,
seed.
he was like the first elimination too. It was like, which
He
just
kinda
reeks
deserves
of
it.
that guy's character. It's like that dude looks like he thinks he's the coolest thing, and like, not much endurance on that guy. Sorry.
He looks like he'd be in a really good Stone Temple Pilots cover band. That's about it. No,
But on Meeber, I'm with you though, Scott, on like the side playing with the side stuff, because I think like most of us get grumpy if we think of Star Wars aliens. We're like, you have to be able to fit a person inside of that costume or something. And I love that when George would always like play with science fiction and different things. I love when like different kind of genres come into Star Wars, and that was one where I was almost like, oh, he's like, it looks like a Men in Black character almost or something. Just like coming in, like you should have popped out of like Tarkin's head or something, Like
No, if I'm
asking,
not
"Where's
mistaken,
where is Orion's belt?
well, wasn't there another droid that could speak English with him that it was aggravating him the whole time? What was that droid?
It was a pit droid.
Yeah.
That was
Whack.
it. Yes.
And I want whack. Here, I'm gonna start a hashtag right now because I just now realized. Bring whack back. There you go. Hashtag
a
bring whack
strange
back. I want to see
request.
whack again, man. I'm just saying, man. Whack was I enjoyed the comedy stylings of whack. So, yeah. Very mid 2000s. So I really enjoy his humor. So, but
Our next
moving
contestant is a man by the name, probably the most Earth Star Wars.
Well,
name.
wait. I think we should let them introduce him because this was their pick straight up, man. So go ahead. Why don't you guys, Chris or Scott, introduce our next contender?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man, the myth, the mustache, Bob Hudson.
What a great name. Like, if you said that, a guy doesn't look Star Wars, the name Bob Hudson does not sound Star Wars. That's the best thing about him, is you love him, and then you see his name, and
Sounds like he'd work
It's
for a
instant
small
love,
claims
man.
court. It just sounds like he'd be like.
I was
going
gonna
to
say he sounds like he sells real estate or
For
something
boats.
with like my Uncle George or
Yeah.
something, Okay. All right,
everyone on,
Bob.
Alderaan, wherever he's from, has a dumb jingle, like, call Hudson, 800, 600, that they, like,
Yeah.
everyone knows, like, Bob Hudson's phone number because of his darn commercials.
No, it's like
that's awesome.
it's just the mustache too is obscene. It's like Civil War. Like if you're trying to prove a point looking mustache. Like it's like
Obscene.
it's like a mustache that like visually attacks you. Like I don't even see his face. I'm looking up a photo right now of him.
It's
Yes.
his mustache is like, there's the whole thing that came around, I believe, with Super Troopers about mustache rides, and his is not just handlebars. His, I believe, has like a full like harness or something that you can like strap in and make sure you don't like fall off or anything. So it's like the
It's got a
NASCAR.
sidecar.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-point racing harness.
It's like the things that they strap people into the the F-15s with. So.
Oh my god,
man.
it's so ridiculous.
What can you say? And I actually made a transparent PNG of just the mustache from the one darkened shot that was the best I could find. And I fully planned, and maybe I still will put it up because I said that his mustache had moved on to a new host, I believe. So I got to figure it out. Maybe like it'll attach to the winner or something.
It's like the face hugger from Alien.
yeah. It's like,
It implants a Bob Hutzel in your stomach that bursts out.
Oh, just look at it. I saw the picture in the chat. Like, it's just obscene. It's just unbelievable. How?
This may be the first weirdo I just remember. I always remember seeing this guy even as a kid, like in the background. I could never not see him.
He looks
that's
like
a full-on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory mustache. That's like one of the Oompa Loompas that works in the factory.
You know who he looks like? Who's the man from Arrested Development? The who plays I guess the father, the
Jeffrey
patriarch.
Tambor.
Yes,
Yeah.
like in this photo I'm sitting right
He
now.
looks like George
Look at
Bluth
this.
Sr.
Looks just like. Just look at that. They could really recast it.
There's always a mustache
Please,
in the banana stand.
Yes.
Oh, please, can we get Ron Howard back to do another Star Wars show parody? And like have him like talk about how George Bluth Sr. is like hiding again in like the Rebel briefing.
Does Bob Hutzel die?
Or that must be
he did
maybe
die.
that's Oscar. Who knows? George glued a fake mustache on Oscar.
Y'all know that Max Rebo is a never nude.
Yeah. Or does he even have legs? That's the debate, my friend. I don't know. You ask the guys from Blast Point. They're big on his arms were supposed to be his feet, which is weird. I don't know. Like I love that though. He's oh my gosh. And he's blue. He just blew himself, so.
The funny thing is he did not receive a name until the 1996 like card game for A New Hope Limited. Like it was the customizable card game. It's just like, how did he not get a name for almost 20 years? It's unbelievable.
I gotta
they left
stop
it to the
you.
intern, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta stop you right there too because I can excuse it if they were like in 1977 or even the 1980s, like his name's Bob and stuff.
That's
with names
true.
like Garvin Dave Drace. Like his middle name is literally Dave, and what is it? Isn't it like Dutch Vander's like first name something earthly like Steven or something? It's not Steven, but it is something earthly.
Well, like
But
also
you're
Kyle
telling me they waited till the freaking mid-90s when we were putting hyphens and like an accent
Mr.
marks above
Onyorodo.
everyone's name, like Mina Kakakababada. And like his name was, let's name that guy Bob Hutzel,
insurance adjuster.
used car salesman. My goodness, that is amazing. That's just mind blowing to me that he did not have a name until the mid-90s. So anyway, we should move on.
His 90s, when they did the arc where his character got cloned, it was Boob Hutzel.
Oh, that's fantastic. So then was no, never mind. I almost gave spoilers for the novelization of the. Anyway, never mind. Let's go on.
Our next one is a crowd-funded favorite, and that is our friend Wat Tambor, who has now made a amazing reappearance in Clone Wars, which I think is great. I think we talked about it, Jerry.
He had a big part of that, didn't he?
He's our most B-list sci-fi character, like ever, like in Star Wars. Like just like the look, steampunk. It's so weird.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he's a steampunk toadstool muffin. Like, what is he? Like,
so awesome.
And I love that they doubled down. And they're like, no. Like on his home planet, they wear top hats with gears on them. Like it is like 100%. Like even like the thing they pulled Echo out of in the Clone Wars looked like the freaking thing they put like Steve Rogers in the
Captain
first
America.
Avenger.
Yeah.
To blast him with Vita rays. I mean, like it is as 1950s steampunk as you can get with these guys.
It's
And
amazing.
He is a crowd favorite. So what is your the dude has a radio in his chest for his voice, for crying out loud. I mean, come on. Like, what are your thoughts on Wat Tambor, gentlemen?
Chris, what do you have?
I mean, just such a great character. You think he has one line in the in episode 2, and it just sticks with you. I mean, it's like you have to wonder like what are the other dials do on
Exactly. What did they do? You know, and it's
Half
funny.
of his line is static. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, oh, hold on, we moved to AM. Hold on.
well, he's also the last one to be killed by Anakin, which is also really kind of funny if you think about it. Like he's the most important apparently, or just the. I love that he went off to a room and was like, "I got to get the hell out of here. I don't know where else to go."
He's
I'm
just
gonna
like,
go to this
this conference table will protect me from him. Like, he's just, it's like so blink and you miss it, but he's like at the end of the conference table, just like, oh, I hope this works.
Well, wait, you got to think how weird that is. That like one of the most
bureaucracy will stop
iconic
him.
Hayden Christensen moments in all of Star Wars is like when he looks back with his red eyes and Watts in the back, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's turning knobs.
dial's
Like I
gonna
could
get
make
me
my
to
eyes
this
do
one?
that too.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'd always kind of like thought this was some kind of like barometric pressure suit.
Oh,
So I kind of wanted like the lightsaber to like, you know, like just poke a hole in his face to implode or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's really,
Oh, yeah.
it gets
Or
all like
he
David
shoots around the
Cronenberg
room
gross.
like a balloon or something.
Something like in Total Recall. Or
I
something.
just,
Yes.
well, you just made me think about it, Scott. Imagine a Wat Tambor naked. Like, just picture that. Like, imagine him taking a bath.
Scott, what is Scotty?
Well, my work here's done. I've caused this to happen.
Just like imagine, like,
Scotty, are you saying you want to see Wat Tambor's Ronto?
yes, I do want to
Is
see
that what
his
you're saying?
Ronto.
You wanna-
But I
you
also
wanna see
just
his
like.
Ronto?
Like if you look at him long enough, like he starts to like become you. I don't know, like you look into his eyes. It's one of those characters. Like you,
That is
it's.
probably the
Now I am
deepest
Wat
thing you've
Tambor.
ever said.
I mean, honest to God, there's nothing else in Star Wars that looks like him, and like he looks like he'd be from a Gene Autry cowboy movie, and it's just like it makes no. It's so weird. It's such a
Well, the
bizarre
top of his head
character.
does look like the top of a cowboy hat. So that
It's such a weird character. I really want to. They have action figures of him. I think I'm going to go order one off eBay, like for real. Like I just.
do it. He also floats. He doesn't walk. He floats. If you watch him walk into the
Yes.
room, he doesn't walk. He glides.
Really?
Yeah,
so
it's really weird. It's like he's wearing roller skates under there or something.
He's gonna take your order at
go
Sonic.
Gadget Skates.
are really tough. Yeah. Things are really tough. I've got a second job at the drive-in. So yeah. Anyway.
I just sent them in the chat. I found this.
Would you like tater tots with that?
I hope Watt gets a video game, and that's all I'm going to say after that. The next one. Imagine
What
if
up,
EA
Watt? I
announces
see
a
what you
Watt
did there.
Tambor video game. Speaking of Jerry's spirit animal in the Star Wars world, I guess spirit character. Jerry, I will let you do your rant on this next one, because the next one is the Jerry really hoped you'd go past round one, but thank God he didn't.
The man, the myth, the voice of a generation, Zhao Yaoza. He didn't last very long in this contest, but that's okay because his solo
Jerry
career is
legitimately-
really taken off.
Well, Jerry legitimately texted me how pissed he was that he didn't make it past round one, and I was dying laughing at that. Oh, man.
It is literally like I have the action figure right here. I have a shrine to everything like that people hate in Star Wars that I actually enjoy. And yes, I have I have right here in all of his. He looks honestly, Zhao Yaoza. I don't know if you guys can see the action figure right here, but it is. He honestly kind of looks like that the mascot of Honeycomb cereal from like the late '90s, early 2000s. If he was in Star Wars, like, yeah, get my honeycomb. Yeah, he looks like that guy, but with like,
I need TP for my honeycombs.
for like with really, really, it's like a cross between that guy and Mr. Tumnus from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. If they had a love child, it's like that guy, but with very pronounced nipples. And 2 uvulas. But anyway.
If you turn one of those nipples, his voice goes...
No. Good day. Anyway, what's funny is Scott, did you end up watching the trailer for Return of the Jedi special edition?
So
it full on warns everyone that scene is coming.
It's
for like 10
incredible.
seconds. It is great because it's like Return of the Jedi with new footage and a few surprises, and it goes. It's like, well, not much of a surprise. So I don't know why all you guys are ticked off, but anyway, that is my. I don't know. I've just always the character is just for me a big thing about Weirdos is aesthetics, and for some reason I just like. Is it weird to say I find him aesthetically pleasing? Like, I don't want to like date him or anything. You know, I'm married for one, so it wouldn't even. But there's just something about the. I just think it's a neat looking character for some reason. I don't know. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna stop because I'm at the point of just like I am a Zhao Yaoza apologist, and it's just.
That should be
sadly
a shirt.
something that I need to make that one too. But I just don't think that society will ever accept Zhao Yaoza.
Oh my god.
But what are your thoughts on Zhao Yaoza? Go ahead, just destroy my world. Go ahead. I've got enough alcohol here. I'll be okay.
I mean, it's all been said, right? I mean, but to tiptoe to your side, it's not like Lapty Neck is, you know, the most beloved track on a Star Wars soundtrack, right?
Nah, Yub Nub is.
I guess the one kind of funny thing about this dude is his species is from Endor, right?
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think, like, in Legends, for sure.
Oh, wow, you're right.
I think, is that a canon fact now?
I don't know if it's canon or not. I assume a lot of the Endor stuff still is kind of the same.
Yeah.
These are the questions we need answers to, gentlemen. Is Zhao
Scotty,
Yaoza from
Endor? Tell me this doesn't look like something that would have appeared in one of the Ewok films, though.
That's true.
Come on, man. You know,
It
and
looks
there
like
was a puppet.
Star Wars.
There was a puppet, right? Like leaned up against the wall in the originals. That was Zhao Yaoza, but
there?
It was not as detailed as this.
wow.
I'll send you. I'll have to find a picture for you, Scotty. But yes, look it up.
You gonna
Look
take
up
out your
original
wallet?
Zhao Yaoza. Yeah.
More like
I
show
only
the
have
tattoo.
5. I only have 5 shots. Okay. All right. Yeah. But yeah. That's it. I think it might have been maybe George like really like just liked that character or something, and was like, I would really like to do that thing justice or whatever. It does look like the puppet. I don't know. You guys know the puppet I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah. God, that's weird. Star Wars. Holy hell.
It's like a little too Schoolhouse Rock looking, maybe. I don't know, like what I would even consider that. Like,
It looks like
that's another thing. He reminds me of the guy from the cartoons when I was a kid who would like run around, the big hunk of cheese guy who would run around singing a hunk of cheddar or something. Like
he looks like
maybe
a
it reminds me
character
of my
from
youth.
one of like the claymation Chicken Run movies. Like whoever does all those.
He's very cartoony in the original puppet, and so I think George maybe was like, I really want to do him justice. Give him more nose ridges. Let's give him some nipples.
because everything has nipples. You can milk anything with nipples.
Wow.
I have nipples. Could you milk me, Greg? That's one of my favorite movies.
All right, we're moving on.
I was thinking that.
Sorry, I'm done.
Well, maybe so special edition's 97, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Batman and Robin's 97.
Oh,
so I mean,
my.
Nipples were big
on
that year.
things is a
That
big
was
year.
peak nipples.
So can we officially crown 97 the year of the nipple?
The memory gland year. Great memories.
the nerd nipple. Oh, man.
Our next one, Jarl Poof, which is an interesting one, okay? I think Jarl Poof, if I'm not mistaken, was it Jarl Poof or the Kaminoans that were based off of Spielberg's Close Encounters? I believe there was it was documented by George that I think that was like his tribute to the alien from Close Encounters, or it was the Kaminoans. I really don't remember which one, but Jarl Poof is one of those characters that actually, for some reason, with canon, they're like, we're going to bring this dude back of all people and like give him a little arc, right? Doesn't he have an arc now in the new canon? If I'm not mistaken. I thought he might have had
Chris
something.
is Scott.
I just want to jump in and this guy, the whole episode 1 Jedi Council, like it just could have been a tournament from those guys,
Oh
right?
my god, totally. Totally.
I mean, it's anyone who likes to pause DVDs, like that's just a paradise, and to have this little like Poof is such a great name for him, right?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
his head is filled with helium, and it's just kind of you
Floating
can just like
around.
take a little just pop it, right? I don't know. He looks very wise to me, like a tortoise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see
Tortoise.
He
Tortoise.
knows how many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop.
You've got to think though that
Might be
that's
a little
like such a
racist.
hard that's such an easy target for like if he was to fight like a Dark Jedi Sith or whatever, like
Oh yeah.
it's like, I mean, his head is floating there bobbing back and forth basically saying come on get me and
yeah, he's
it's
not
just-
getting his hand chopped off.
no I mean a helmet is going to do nothing for that guy. I don't know, so it is you're very correct. He does look like a wise tortoise though, so I don't know, Scott, if that was if he was the like inspired by Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or he does look exactly.
In the
Is he
face,
Kaminoan?
yeah.
Do we know? Like, I don't think he is Kaminoan.
No, I'm not saying he's Kaminoan. I'm saying
But
I
he
think
looks-
the Kaminoans
Yeah.
were George's homage to Close Encounters, or it was Jarl
Right,
Poof.
right.
I cannot remember, to be honest with you. But Jarl Poof
Right.
is one of those, like, he's not even a blink and you miss it. Like, he's in there a ton. I mean, of course he's in the
Yeah.
Jedi Council scenes, but like,
Yeah.
he's like the good. Like, if you look behind Anakin in every one of those shots, you see him like sitting in the back with his, big ass head and neck. But he's just he's iconic in his own weird way. Each one of these characters really are. Especially,
I love him.
Yeah, oh, dude, of course. I think he had a toy too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Yeah, man, all those guys, like back in the day,
Yeah.
they used to make every one of the background. I wish they would get back to that. Maybe eventually we
too.
will and stuff. We're gonna have a couple years
Constable
without
Zumio.
movies, so we'll see. But I am just jonesing for like a scissor punch, a therm scissor punch or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need those background guys. I need
Yes.
every one of them in toy form. Scotty,
Yes.
I believe we are omitting Mr. O.P. Pit, the tag team partner of Wat Tambor.
Yes.
I
that
don't
is
know if
true.
you were trying to save him for the end or something or what, but I will not let O.P. Pit go unsung if for any reason other than he has probably one of the best names of a background character in Star Wars. So, do you guys? I don't know if you're familiar with O.P. Pit, if you watch Resistance or not, but his design is based on some of those. I believe the species is Fragosian, which is great because he looks like he doesn't give a frig about anybody. And they look like, honestly, like the Fry Kids from the '90s in McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like that's what they look. That's what they reminded me of, or like a giant chicken nugget.
Didn't they
but that's just what
acknowledge
they
that
remind me
too? I thought Pablo before his mass wipe before his Thanos snap. I'm pretty
he
sure
may
he
have, yeah.
Pretty sure he.
I think I remember going like doing like the Michael Scott gif because that's my go-to. The thank you, to him when he said that. But, but let's just bask in the greatness of the name that is spelled exactly how you would think it would be. O.P. Pitt.
It's nice.
That's a name that exists in Star Wars. So. Anyway, I don't know if anyone has any love or I just really think he's a great grumpy janitor.
I didn't realize the first time I saw him, I didn't realize he was wearing a hat.
Yeah,
I thought he was like a Ichabod Crane bad guy. I thought he had a pumpkin head.
yeah.
Because the hat looks sort of pumpkin stem and this sort of yellow orangish face.
Right.
You're not alone, Scott. As someone experiencing this character the first time,
Okay.
the first impression I had. But now that I see it's a hat, that's even better. It's
Now,
fantastic.
isn't the Frigosians? Isn't their first appearance in The Force Awakens too? In Maz's, isn't it the first?
They are.
In Maz's,
They're supposed to be in The Force Awakens. I don't know if you can see them right off. And we might have to Zapruder film, like you're saying them stuff too. But they were in the first time I remember seeing them was in the behind the scenes reel for The Force Awakens, I believe.
That's what it is.
Because I remember going like, "What the heck is that thing? That's in Star Wars."
That's a Star
You're
Wars
taking
thing.
McDonald's characters, putting black capes on them, and just throwing them in there. Like, okay, cool. I guess I'll allow it. But I don't know. We'll have to confirm that. But I believe it was that like behind the scenes featurette before the thing. Yeah, man.
Oh wow, that's
The
great.
live action ones.
About it.
The live action ones are a little like, what? How is that even? How is that even a thing? Yeah, man.
Whoa. Sorry, I just saw the live action one.
That looks like that looks like the.
Yeah.
Looks like McDonald's has like a Mad Max Happy Meal or something.
That would be such a strange decision. Just like imagine during all this quarantine, like we're gonna release our Mad Max mascots.
The Immortan Hamburglar.
Like, is this for a girl or a boy? Because we got to know if you want Furiosa or Max. So.
Oh my god. Oh, I like O.P. Pitt. I like O.P. Pitt. I think O.P. Pitt's one of those like those. Like Resistance is weird.
He's got robotic crab claws
Yes.
for hands for some reason too. Like,
But,
how does he push that floor waxer around? Like, I don't even know.
I think he has different attachments. He
must-
can just pop the claw hand off and get some.
I'm like, do they actually have hands, or is he just wearing like football pads with robot arms there? Like, look, he has the robot claws too. It looks like on the live action. So.
Well, the best one, honestly, is whenever I believe the ship went underwater, or it's like right when it started to submerge and it was like breaking, and then the water was dripping on the floor, and he like got to his knees and raised his arms up. Do y'all remember that? I think it was the first episode. I'm pretty sure. No, the first episode, the first season.
Right.
Yeah, no, that
It was like when they were like going underwater, and he was like, "No, my."
And he's like the first one
It's
Kaz
the
meets
best.
too. Like he walks past, like Kaz walks past him in that first episode. It's like that's like your first background weirdo of Resistance, you know? Yeah. I should have gave him more love. I'm sorry I skipped him, y'all. But our next one, our next
How
one
dare
made it to
you.
the
How dare you.
championship. Our next one made it. And I don't know if I think he's a good character. I think he's interesting, and I'm referring to the Rancor man himself. How do you say his name? Thank you, Scott, for that image. That was hilarious. Malakili. Probably one of the first. Return of the Jedi is weird. Okay, I'll say that. No other Star Wars movie has two deaths you think about more than anyone else.
That's
Like
amazing.
the Rancor death, you actually feel something, and then when the Ewok dies later in the movie, you actually feel something. That was like George's first test of like weird sub entries into Star Wars. Like my favorite is the noise before Malachi shows up. and then like Malachi, how do you say his name again? Malakili walks.
Malakili.
And his tits are all out, and he's like, he's like, he just looks so confused and lost. Oh god, he's a great character.
He definitely forgot his shirt at home that day.
Yes,
I will say, Jabba, you're right. This is like George going like that. Okay, if you're not scared of George Lucas in a dark alley, just watch Return of the Jedi. That is a shop of horrors. I mean, just look at that. He's like, I want more guys with skulls on their staffs and a giant elephant man with a long face. It's like George reached into everyone's nightmares and pulled out the pure nightmare fuel and just blew it all over as like a dust onto every single creature that they created for Jabba's palace. Yeah. You remember what was the weird giraffe thing, Scott, that has two heads?
Oh my god!
That we found, and we're like, that is
the
the most nightmarish thing I've ever seen.
It is nightmare fuel.
That and Amanaman are like, they are going to be in your, like, if you saw them at the end of your bed tonight, you would not sleep for the rest of your life.
Not at all. Not at all. And like, it's just like the feeling of this moment too. After the Rancor gets killed, you feel really triumphant, and then. Malakili walks in.
Malakili.
Well, when Malakili walks in, well, you don't even notice, and until he's like, and
he like pushes
crying.
he pushes the guys aside. Like, guys are coming in to get Luke. He pushes all of them, including Luke Skywalker, to the side. He's like, get out of my way.
It's like
check on the Rancor.
It's just the feel of that whole moment is so bizarre because it's triumphant and then that and then who is it? He ends up getting comforted by a
Gamorrean.
Was it a Gamorrean? Oh, that makes sense now.
I think so.
I was picturing
it might have been his like brother who got eaten.
It's just like that.
I think we had a whole discussion about that at one point in time.
Yeah. Chris and I went super deep on. We have a whole backstory that Jabba's palace is like a kink dungeon, and Malakili is like the linchpin for that theory.
Yes,
he does. He's straight up wearing chaps, man. I mean, he's got to be, you know. Like.
So, in honor of Malakili, I had to run up and get something that, against all odds, strangely enough, I have right here.
Oh my god!
Snap!
That's
so I'm holding up a Power of the Force Malakili action figure, and on air I will open this guy up right now and play with him.
No, you don't have to. That's precious. That's gold.
No. The backstory of why I have this is not the most recent December, but the one before that. Chris and I did a sort of like holiday special episode.
Nice.
Where we watched the holiday special, and we also sent each other presents that we opened on air. And one of the things that Chris sent me that he found God knows where is what every kid wants to play with, Malakili. The best thing about this action figure is it comes with your very own slide projector.
Yeah.
So
what all the kids want.
In case you wanted to, stick that thing like in one of those like 3D viewers from back when I was a kid, and like really get like an eyeful of this man's toplessness.
Get this noise to annoy the hardcore collectors out there.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, here we go. Oh, I hear the 90s cry out in terror.
The plastic is yellowed.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And about our theories about what's going on in Jabba's palace is the thing that comes with Malakili is called the long-handled vibroblade. It looks a little bit like this.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yes.
What an amazing moment on this show. I wish everyone could see this. We are currently looking at a freshly open 1990s Malakili action figure. I bet he smells great.
He's got that new Malakili smell. I've actually been curious what slide projector cell's been in here for the past year and a half.
It's probably just him crying with the Rancor in the background.
Surprisingly, new molecule snail smell is only slightly better than day-old molecule smell. So just so you know, you might want to just keep that in mind.
What a moment.
Gosh, I can't find the nightmare giraffe. I might have to turn safe search off.
Thank you for that, Scott. That was wonderful. Wow, we just had what a special moment. He'll put it on his desk and forever think of Bombadcast when he looks at Molecule. That's very heartwarming.
Until my wife throws this away. I'll remember Bombadcast.
Why do you have Okay, I just found an article on StarWars.com, the 7 creepiest, freakiest denizens of Jabba's palace. So let's test this theory out here.
Yeah, fantastic.
That is amazing, though. My gosh, that you have that, and you. Thank you for sharing a piece of yourself with us tonight, Scott. So.
He's got little butt plugs on his armband. This guy's
just
not
in
right.
case, just in case.
This is just more fuel for our theory.
Yeah, it really.
So do y'all believe that Jabba runs a brothel? Is that what you think might be happening?
Oh, it's all no, man. It's like swingers. Everyone's into it.
Oh, and
That
Molecule
droid
might be like
that droid getting tortured was totally into it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I am sending 2 images right now into the chat. That I wish we're gonna have to post all of these. When the episode comes out. Did you? I know, and officially they do the official shots of these characters with the black background. It really just completes the look. So that character's name
Completes the whole nightmare
is Kane
effect.
Adis. And it is a nightmare giraffe with 2 heads. So there you go. That's for free, guys. So you are completely welcome. Scott has a look of horror on his face.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing this again in my
I
dreams.
know they did not do
As
any
I'm startled
favors.
awake at 2 in the
mean,
morning.
look at Amanaman just has deep pools of darkness for eyes. I think no, they're just straight up red.
And-
They're just straight up demon eyes.
And-
So yeah,
and what kind of skull is that on his stick?
I think it's mine.
Or-
Maybe after tonight or something. It is that's even creepy. I wouldn't want to run into whatever the skull was. You know.
No, much less him.
Oh my gosh! So
I think that if you put a Malakili action figure under your pillow at night, this guy comes and exchanges it for a skull or something.
or he asks you if you've got any butt plugs or something.
The way those fingers reach up.
Oh, yeah. So next up,
The next one up.
man, we really gotta.
Well, the next one up, I have a very special
hour
feeling
in.
for, which sounds really weird. I don't know how y'all feel about Solo, gentlemen, but Solo was one of my favorite Disney era films, honestly, so far. It's just like a really good. It's like Return of the Jedi. It's got all the weirdness it needs to have. It's a great movie. I was actually watching this past Saturday, and Lulio Primoc is actually based off a New Orleans singer, Louis Prima. So it's weird, and he sings in a low voice like Louis Prima does, and Louis Prima actually voiced the gorilla from the Jungle Book. I'm sorry, not the gorilla. Yeah, no, the orangutan from the Jungle Book. Yeah. So he's he's got that huge
King Louis.
Yeah, he is King Louis. He's got that huge voice, and I love when you walked in on Solo and in that little area, you got the woman with the weird harmonica mouth, and then you've got. I guess Lulio Primoc, and it was such a cool moment, hearing vocal jazz in Star Wars instead of just orchestral, or I guess a 4-piece jazz orchestra. You got to actually hear a singer this time. It was kind of sensual too. I will say that it was kind of romantic. But yeah, I like Lulio Primoc. I really wish he would have made it to the end. To be honest with you.
Hey,
I like how he lives in one of those tubes that you put into a bank and like it zips your like cash deposit to the teller.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw him. We had a closet at my school with all the creatures in formaldehyde in the science room, and I'm pretty sure I saw him on the shelf a couple of times there.
Right.
So he is straight up just like, hey, look, your creepy uncle keeps this in his basement, and you're really contemplating calling the cops. But
Yes. It is like a formaldehyde
it has like a
looking creature. It's
Ripley's Believe It or Not museum quality to it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I like the character. I think he could have benefited from a movie himself. So I'm hoping for that.
Scott, now
any
you know.
opinions on Lulio
Now you know how I
Prima?
feel about Zhao Yaoza. I'm just
Yes, I
saying.
guess I do.
Except for, I guess, not everyone hates the frogman in the formaldehyde bank tube. But
Let's look into the bank
but-
tube. It's amazing. What a deep voice for just a little
Are we gonna-
character.
well, are we going to talk about the big like change? They changed like last second his voice to the deep voice, or I think it was last second. I don't know, because like on the soundtrack, it's like a high pitched voice. It's like Babu Frick is singing the backup vocals or something.
Really?
Like yeah, have you guys not?
Huh.
You must really love the song, Scott. If you've never listened to, I'm joking.
Wait,
I'm
wait.
joking. That was
Hold on, wait. This is
the vocals.
I'm reading.
The vocals on the actual soundtrack. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna listen to that right now while we're
Yeah.
all trying to talk. It says right here he also starred in a series of old Hollow movies while wearing a dashing humanoid exosuit. Now past his prime, Lulio Primoc is still favored by retro collectors and enthusiasts. That's incredible. He wore a human exosuit. That's like I think it's the
Yeah.
first time I've ever heard that in Star Wars. That's very Star Wars.
Was it human or humanoid or just like
Humanoid exosuit.
Okay.
Maybe it was that half-head lady.
Yeah.
That's walking in the same room. He just
The
plopped a little
hologram
tank right on
head?
top of that dome, and
Oh yeah. It's just like pilots
Yeah.
are around.
right. Or it was. I mean, we talked
No,
online.
go
Or
left.
it's inside, like Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like a little plug and play. You
Oh
just-
yeah, man.
Sick.
Oh, that was. Oh man.
Deep cut.
I want to go watch '90s Ninja Turtles now. That's amazing.
Cowabunga.
Oh, dude. That seriously makes me very happy that he is literally that one alien from Men in Black who was
Yep.
inside the dude's head.
Definitely.
That's amazing. Yeah, what if it was just like a pair of pants and just him sticking out of the top half, It's like, this is my real height, or something. Yeah, he's Malakili.
That's in Molecule's belly.
Yeah. That's why he didn't wear a shirt, overheating and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, our next one, is a famous vapor, which I don't know if that's ever been said out loud. This next one is known for ripping big vape clouds in the.
That was, I can't get over. I don't think those words have ever been uttered in human history. Famous vapor.
He is so well
Like there's
known.
like a
And
competition or something.
yes. No, and he's the
Famous
winner.
Vapor. Sorry.
He is well known for his vape. He can make vape circles, and he can make really cool vape clouds. You see him drive around in his really tall truck, and he's just blowing vape clouds out of his truck, listening to some really good Buck Cherry. And I feel like that's Danik Jericho's aesthetic. Or he's really like Neapolitan, and he's like a very clean man. I feel like Danik Jericho was like, he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he wanted to get a little stoned, so he's hitting this I guess some
bar.
sort of death stick vape, and he's like watching like stuff go down. And you see him, he's like it's like a long stick, and he's like he looks like he'd be very I don't know, 1920s when he smokes cigarettes. Like he does it for fashion, not for fun.
He looks like if the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland
Yes.
became a human
Oh, yeah.
and also wanted to kill everyone around him. That's just the vibe I get from him for some reason.
Yep.
Although he does seem very chill.
Oh, he's lax.
Yeah.
He does not give a shit.
He better
That's on
be.
his first death stick he's smoking.
Yeah. So what's in that? What's in that pen, man?
No, he's in the original Star Wars. So he's literally like, I think he's got like 3 separate shots the entire movie, and like he's got one where he's hitting it, and he's got one where he's blowing it out, and the next one's him like going back to hitting it after what's his face loses his arm. Jerry.
Oh, Ponda Baba.
Ponda Baba
Yeah.
loses his arm.
You know,
so.
he loses
His
his
werewolf
Wolfman arm.
Yeah.
Not his flipper arm. You know, I don't know, man. It's got to be some sort of like spice or something that he's smoking in there, because Tatooine, I feel like, is Tatooine is like the Amsterdam of the Star Wars universe. I feel like where just like anything kind of goes. The way that they like watch him, like, you know, hit the, you know, they watch Ponda get his arm taken off. Has anyone ever just referred to him by his his first name? Did I just make Star Wars history? Ponda, Mr. Ponda, Mr. Pond.
You're on a first name basis.
Yeah, we're good buds. Me and Walrus.
My
Man.
dad's Mr. Baba.
You will call him by his full name, sir. That's Mr. Ponda to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
But anyway, yeah. I'm surprised neither one of them made it into here, honestly. So that's, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So before all these guys were given names and they were just like Walrus Guy, Hammerhead, I think this guy was like the Snot Vampire.
Yeah.
Like that's what he was colloquially known as.
Danik
Or like, did they like, okay, Danik Jericho, did they just like take and like rearrange the letters of the name of someone who like stole one of the production people's wives or something, and just like, we're gonna name him that. This guy looks like a prick. We're just gonna like name him after that guy. So name him after Dan.
He has a very Star Trek alien face to him.
He
Yeah.
does.
Like, would have slapped
We're gonna
somebody
put
on your nose and called it a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So,
odd vapor.
while we're on the topic of barflies, though, maybe we should move on to our next contender, who is Big Al, who has
Big Al.
maybe the best mustache in animation of Star Wars characters. He is the Star Wars character that is always in the bar of Star Wars Resistance. Yes, the kids show that has the friendly town drunk that just hangs out, spilling his drinks and stuff, going, "Oh darn," you know. Straight up, this dude is always in Aunt Z's. It's a pub. You get food there as well, but they get drinks. They get drinks there.
Yes.
And so, again, as we always say, don't sleep on Resistance, man. There's some gold. There's some gold in that there.
There's
show.
some drunks. There's some casino going, which I think is very strange. Gambling is a huge chunk of that show. Resistance is kind of odd.
And they care about each other, yet do not care for anyone's safety at all.
Yes,
which is freaking amazing. It's quite amazing how reckless they are on that show. Yes. But I don't know. Do you guys have any impressions of Big Al? Have you heard of him? I know you guys. I think Chris, you were saying you hadn't heard of Opeepa before this. Do you know who Big Al is? Or do you guys know? I'm going to call you guys out. No,
unfortunately. I do not, unfortunately. So he's a bit of a barfly. What Cheers character would you say he is? Just maybe try and introduce him to me.
If he's a Cheers character, I don't. Honestly, I haven't watched much Cheers. I've seen bits and pieces, but I would say I'd say he's a Cliff Clavin, maybe. You know, maybe a Norm, maybe a bit of both.
I get that vibe, like looking
the
at him.
mustache of Cliff. With the personality of Cliff of Norm, let's say. So
that's good.
We'll go with that. But look, I'm sure you can find them on YouTube. You can stream all the entire series on Disney Plus right now. But it's a much better binge than it is a week-to-week show, I will say. Because even I
Jiao Yaoza and Jedi Rock's lover, Jerry the Canon Junkie, found it kind of hard some weeks to slog through. But yeah, it's much better when you're just like boom, 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 knocking them out because they're just little 20-minute whatevers. So go check out Big Al. And I love that that's just his name. His name is Big Al. And he made it quite far in the tournament. Did. So that was a surprise. But
like
a
sleeper for sure.
He was like the top 4, if I'm not mistaken. It's so weird.
Yeah, he made it to.
So he was the
final
Cinderella story of the tournament.
He really was. Yes.
The underdog.
Like a
the underdog. No, I like the
25
underdog.
seed still in it.
He's a what do they call it in boxing when they box with the left hand? He's a
southpaw.
Yeah, he's a southpaw. He's not that proficient, but he is a underdog to the biggest extent of Star Wars Weirdos. But our next one's actually like probably I saw one of these at Celebration. I forget their actual species, but Garandan, which is the elephant face dude from I guess A New Hope, with the little. Who actually...
the snitch.
Yes, his snitch.
The snitch.
And then he shows back, not him, but his species shows back up in The Mandalorian that plays a flute. So that's always really kind of cool.
Yeah. With his little trunk. It was, it's adorable, man. Just so adorable.
Yes.
I'm joking. I'm really giving him... I need to give him a little more credit. But that was amazing, too, man. I'm about to rewatch The Mando, I think, on my in my Luke Skywalker on Act 2 Exile.
I like how a lot of the A New Hope aliens are so mysterious. Like, what do Jawas look like?
Right.
Sand people are also very covered up, and this is kind of the same thing. It's like, does he have a little trunk, or is that a what is that thing?
Is
there
an
appendage in there? Or
it's okay. Here we go. I think I just remembered the name. I'm at a record for remembering names of species in this episode because usually I call myself a canon junkie, but I can't remember anything. I believe it's a Kubaz. And I was gonna say I only remember that because we had one in The Mandalorian recently. But I think that he's wearing a mask, but their face just kind of looks like that mask too.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny
because when he holds up the communicator, he's holding it up down at shoulder level, so to speak.
And I love that the way he speaks is. It's
yeah. Whoa, that was on point.
It's
yes, well done.
It's he's very it's like a Muppets character from the 70s, when they're doing the Muppet Show, he'd be in the background of Mana Mana or something.
I do have a very subtle story about this. There was a cosplay of this at Celebration Orlando, and this dude walked from group to group, or dudette, some lady, I don't know, walking from group to group, making the noises through a little microphone in their mouth, and leading in on conversations and whatever the noise is. Jared does it really well.
Wow.
Yeah, and he would go from group to group, and then he would kind of scurry off and go around corners and make the noises. So there was someone really in character doing that. Hopefully they'll show back up for Anaheim, only because it was so.
That was a real Kubaz, actually.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
just there. That sounds kind of creepy, honestly. It
was cool.
All right, Mr. Kubaz. No.
But everyone got it, so no one was uncomfortable.
Right.
It was pretty awesome.
Can you imagine him just being at C2E2 or something, or just any other convention, or maybe just like a car convention or something, just going up to people who is this freaky elephant man that squeaks like a Muppet?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Our next one is extremely well known. A very strange name and a very strange looking dinosaur alien.
This is another almost human name too, almost very earthly.
Coleman Trebor, who was the first Jedi to be killed at the
Coleman. I'm sorry. He grew up in the suburbs of course.
Yes. He was the first to be taken. He was the first Jedi to die at the Battle of Geonosis. So I guess you could say he was the first to die of the Clone Wars itself. It was Coleman Tribble.
Oh.
Wow, our first
Good call.
fatality of the Clone Wars. That's a
Ooh,
shame.
Yeah, way to bring down the room, Scott. Yeah.
What an ass. No, he looks like a dinosaur. He looks like a seriously
Yeah,
like
straight
a
up.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
And he could not stand a chance to Jango Fett, which is kind of sad because Jango gets axed real quick.
He
by
was on the
Mace.
council too, wasn't he?
Was he in the council?
Wasn't he on the council? I think he's sitting on the council that whole movie, and it's like, oh, who's the Parasaurolophus guy in the background there? It's like,
Yeah, I think he was.
yeah,
hilarious.
it's like, is that
Man.
Ducky from Land Before Time? Like, all grown up? Like, what's going on?
So something that just hit me, you know, he kind of jumps down and just gets, taken out by
Yeah, yeah,
Django. His eye placement, the way it is, like on kind of either side of his head. I wonder if he was just Django's in a blind spot.
Yeah, hey.
He hopped down.
It's like a horse. He got
He's
spooked.
going for Newt, but he has no idea
Yeah.
Django's there. He has no idea. He's, I'm going to kill Newt Gunray. Bam,
man.
bam, bam, bam. And the way Django's blaster sounds is incredible in that moment because it's like really good sounding, and then like you just see poor Coleman, like his like shoulder blades keep going back and he falls off the edge. You're like, Jesus. And then Django flips
Well, and
the
then
gun
he-
and puts it in his pocket.
Yeah, he does the spin, the gunslinger spin, which is amazing. So he,
So Star Wars.
Coleman, he kind of died like a punk, but he created a really cool moment for Django
He
there.
did.
So
worth it.
we can't say that he didn't accomplish anything.
Pour your drinks out for Coleman.
Pour one out for the homie, for the Coleman. Oh my gosh. The next one I believe is another favorite of mine, Scotty. I have her action figure as well, but it's the 1997 edition of this character.
Oh, shit.
So you
hold the
Yeah.
phone.
you can it's got look down her mouth tube action too. It's amazing. Which
This adds to
I
your
now
point, boys.
I now
A
regret.
mouth
I now
tube.
regret. Once I've said it, I now regret saying
Yeah.
mouth tube.
Adds to your point, fellas. A mouth tube.
Mouth tube. But we have none other than Miss Cy Snoodles, which she became even more of a favorite character of mine when she. I don't know if you guys have seen all of Clone Wars, but. Spoilers for the Clone Wars out there. She straight up murders. What's the New Orleans the Hut?
Zero?
Yeah.
Zero. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're my love. Let's kiss through the bars. No, don't shoot me. Sorry. Scotty, you had just said in the last episode, I think, that's your favorite Hut besides
It is.
Jabba or something.
It is.
So
Zero's hilarious. Zero's so hated. But Cy Snoodles is also like Betty Boop. And she's like, oh, Mr. Money Man, I'm here to set a bag. Give me some of your money, Zero.
I'm
They're
just
like,
a little paddlewack. I love the way
Yes.
she talks in that.
yes.
I love you
hero.
from the bottom of my gas sack. That's an actual line. Or my fluid sacks or something. It's something gross, but it's amazing. That's the favorite episode with Zero in it. And it's not just because he dies at the end. It's not just because he dies. It's just that whole like vibe of them being like a Bonnie and Clyde on the run, but they're like the most bizarre aliens in Star Wars, and they have a relationship, and that is just the best thing I think I have ever seen. So I'm not surprised that Cy went as far as she did. She made it to the Final Four as well, and I'm not surprised because, I mean, she's just a powerhouse. I mean, just look at that voice. You can actually literally look at it in Return of the Jedi, the 97 Special Edition, like right down the mouth tube. So,
Any thoughts? Any extra thoughts on our beautiful, seductive, something very with a lot of power behind my voice?
yeah.
Character.
Well, another surprisingly topless Star Wars character as well.
Yes. What is up
Yeah.
with that? Or she's got this low
She
hanging.
shops at the same hut as Malakili. So,
Yeah. I mean, she looks.
Jabba's palace is a clothing option.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, definitely.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
kind of weird. She is kind of exposed unless her mammary glands are located other places, but she must be Interesting. I'm looking at it
Well,
now.
let's not get into the anatomy of it. I will say, though, her action figure does not have nipples, but Zhao's does. So, and Zhao is actually 100% nude, right down to the little goat tail that he has, right on the back there. So,
Interesting.
yeah, I think I've completely soured everybody.
It's weird to look at the concept art because Ralph McQuarrie drew her, and that's just a weird thought. Like, imagine 58-year-old Ralph McQuarrie having to do that. Like, I feel bad for him.
George, I got a real wild idea for you. Okay, okay.
An elephant.
Or you like to
Warthog.
party, Ralph? You like to party?
We're looking for ostrich foot. Kind of.
Oh, dude, she has 2 back toes and 3 front toes. It's
Yes.
the weirdest, one of the weirdest feet in Star Wars. Besides Zhao Yao's weird goat hooves. So,
I mean, to mine and Chris's long-standing theory, she looks like she could deep throat a long-handled vibroblade. That's all I gotta say about Slice Noodles.
Oh my! I never realized how risque.
Now we know.
The Jabba sequence is I'm gonna send this to y'all. You see a real side boob in this. Hold on, and I never noticed that.
Well, there's a nip slip in the original.
There is a nip slip in the original.
Scott, are you just figuring this out like every other 12-year-old figured out? I'm just kidding.
No, this in particular though. Look at this.
every 14-year-old with I'm just kidding. Dude, I'm more and more subscribing to y'all's theory. The longer we talk about this stuff, because this is surprising. We're gonna have to put an not safe for work label on this episode, I think, because
whatever you need to edit out, I don't blame you.
well, we do want to be respected, but still. So
Yeah,
I did
including
utter
all of us.
mouth tube. So
that was the green light for me.
yeah.
Bombadcast. After dark.
Yeah. This is definitely our most late night episode.
We could title it that.
We have that.
Late night edition.
we are usually Stephen Colbert, and right now I think we're at I'm trying to think who used to do the late show. Craig Ferguson. We're at Craig Ferguson level now.
Yeah.
We've brought out the hand puppets and everything. So.
The last but not least, I guess, a character in our wonderful weirdos, which we've taken a long time to go through this list. So we'll kind of blow through our choices, the finalists. But our last one.
Main event is coming down. So
Speaking of a late night name, we've got Muftak. And he's the cantina-looking Yeti kind of creature that actually has a little bit of a backstory in the From a Certain Point of View book, too, as well. Isn't he not liked? I thought he was, disliked by a group of people in the... or he's got, a weird voice from a certain point of view. I don't remember. What was it, Jerry? You probably remember more than I do.
Shoot. I think I remember him saying, people call him a name that is just his species. They just call him by his species name, like it's his actual name. They don't care. The Towels is what the species is, I believe.
Yes.
Because there's some in the Clone Wars. But I think some people just call him Towels. And he's it's a really sad little story, if I remember right. And it's even sadder listening to the audiobook, which I did. Because it says Muftak does not have any friends. Muftak. It's just it's basically him being I don't know, just that he says his name, refers to himself as Muftak does not have any friends. Muftak, and Muftak has a little straw for a mouth. Muftak's sad.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Can Muftak eat solid food?
I don't know. And I love that he's going rubbing the bottom of his mouth tube and stuff, which take as you will. We're going into all the mouth tubes tonight.
I feel bad for the extra that was put
There's
this
always
on.
a bigger mouth tube.
The extra, Scotty, sorry.
Just imagine the extra that was like, put this on real quick. And he's like, oh.
It's like, what is this, a fly Yeti? Like, did this Yeti walk into the
Does he have? He has a Funko Pop, too. What the hell?
Dude, he's a pretty big alien. Like, he's got a decent, like, shot. He's like one of the big shots of a character. Like, he's front and center. So, and also that episode of the Clone Wars with all of the towels is amazing. It's like, Dances with Wolves in space. It's amazing.
Yeah, I guess Muftak does get a pretty decent shot. He's sitting next to what's it called? What's a modal node? What are they? They are a Biff. Sitting next to a
Biff.
Yeah.
Biff.
It's just kind of funny. I don't know.
It sounds like you're saying Biss with a lisp. Biff.
But yeah,
lobster. Give me your best lobster.
I bet
Biff.
his like depth perception is super on point.
Oh, it's great. He's got like 4 eyes. He's like a spider
Gotta be.
dude.
Yeah, he just like triangulates everything.
Are the top two, are those eyes or those nostrils? I could never tell.
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the
it's-
picture here.
I always figured they were eyes.
I think he's got 4 eyes, I believe. It's like they're kind of bulbous, which is a funny word. Sorry, it's getting late for me. I don't know, but I appreciate. I'm just now realizing that someone put a shot of Sice Noodles and the dancers and Zhao Yaoza. I love it. Looks like that. It looks like Zhao Yaoza is just really tiny, and Sice Noodles is like holding him back by his forehead.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'll say
I have to
about
post all these
Muftak,
pictures, man.
this is so sad. He was abandoned as a small child. He was abandoned as a newborn who became a pickpocket. Imagine pickpocketing with hands like that. What the hell? There's no way.
Yeah, he's got giant meat hooks. Like,
Yes.
what's he gonna
There's
steal?
also
He
no
just steals
way
the entire
his-
pair of pants.
Run.
There's no way his species evolved to be on like a Tatooine kind of planet either.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to be burning up out there.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't gone to like get that buzz, but he's probably like afraid of. It's probably horrifying under there. He would probably really fit
Yeah.
into Jabba's palace, after he did.
There's
that.
like 12 more eyes under all that fur.
yeah,
It's really scary.
5 other mouth tubes as well. So it's just weird, just hidden all desperately around his body. I don't know why I said desperately. We should probably move on to
interesting
just
character.
the huge bracket
Yeah.
there, Scott.
Well, so to kind of, I'm sorry we took a long time, about an hour and 30 minutes of our time going through each character, but
If
I hope
you-
everyone enjoyed that.
Scott,
That's probably our fault,
let me
too.
just say, if you are a fan of either We Serve Droids or the Bombadcast and you did not enjoy what just happened, then what are you even doing here? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Except
I
for you,
agree.
Rick, you can stay. Rick can stay.
Hopefully some of y'all looked up some photos too while we were going through it, and we'll be sure to post them the day this episode drops, so you know what we're referring to.
I'm going to post all of these gems of wonderfulness.
Kind of quickly, can everyone kind of state their favorite from this list? I know I can do mine real quick. I don't know. I didn't like Malakili at first. I'm kind of coming around, but Niebuhr Gascon is still my favorite from this list. Like, honest to God, Niebuhr Gascon is such a great character, such a funny character. What about you, Chris? Who's your favorite from the list alone?
I've got to go Malakili.
Yeah, I could feel that.
Yeah, when I saw that action figure, I was like, well, this is what Scott's getting for Christmas.
Well, you don't want to get the business end of that long-handled vibroblade, right?
No.
Or his shoulder pads, because it'll go in your business end. Alrighty. Scott, what is your choice, bud?
Wat Tambor.
Oh,
All day, every day.
Solid.
Man,
solid.
that's a good one.
Solid.
Dude, this is going to be a hard pick. Jerry, what about you?
I gotta be on brand, man. I'm looking at this list of everyone, and no one stands out to me like Zhao. Like Zhao Yaoza is just I'm a ride or die Zhao Yaoza fan. So I can't, and you guys can just hate all you want. So yeah, that's me. That's me. What about you, Scotty?
Well, I don't know. I had said originally that I was a real big fan of Niebuhr Gascon, but just, I don't know. want Tambor kind of, now that it's been brought up again, kind of going back up my list. But real quick, for our two wonderful guests, is there any weirdo not on the list? Is there one that you kind of wish, because we can totally throw out an honorable mention when this episode drops. Is there an honorable mention in particular, Scott or Chris?
Someone who needs to make
Chris,
it
you
in
have
next
one?
year's tournament. Yeah.
I know who I have to pick. Beloved of our podcast is the mighty Gorax from Ewok Adventure Caravan of Courage.
Oh, that's good. Oh my god!
Have you seen the what is it? Galaxy of Adventures.
I know exactly.
Forces
Yeah,
of
the little
Destiny.
YouTube ones.
Yeah. Did you see that one? Oh,
Yeah, we had of our own accord headcanoned that all the Ewok traps were repurposed Gorax traps.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then that came out, and we felt like gods among men.
Well, it's weird.
it's even a line. It's even a line from Luke in that thing. He goes well, now we know what the traps were for.
Yeah.
The Gorax is honestly very scary, truly frightening. That is a freaky villain, and I imagine on a VHS it was probably damn scary. On an old VHS that your parents ripped from CBS.
You couldn't see it very well.
Oh my god! I bet it was terrifying. And
It's like the Gorax crawls out of a well and tells you you're going to die in 7 days. It's creepy.
Well, Ralph McQuarrie did a concept art for the Gorax, and I don't know if that was supposed to be in Return of the Jedi, but y'all might know more than we do, boys. Only because it seems like that I wouldn't have even chose the Gorax, but I see now why.
Let's say, Chris, do you have one though, sir?
It's hard to top the Gorax.
Hey, you guys can both go Gorax if you want. Honestly, the thought of the Gorax and Zhao Yaoza and Wicket hanging out on in Bright Tree Village makes me very happy on Endor. So I don't know.
I know who Chris is always it's always 3 seconds away from thinking of is the. You know what I'm going for?
I think I know who you're going
Say
for. The thrice fur jacket winning. I call him the clown droid, but let me find a picture of him.
Scary clown bot that is in all the Tatooine scenes.
Oh.
Y'all know what we're talking about?
I think so. Yeah, the
wait.
the droid that's got the weirdly human face.
Oh, send it over.
He's obscured in shadows in the Sandcrawler, but he keeps popping back up.
Oh,
It's the
I
more
know
you
you're
notice
talking
him,
about.
the more we's gonna start showing up in your again we're saying at the end of your bed at night or something.
Yeah.
I know exactly because he's in
Yeah.
Jabba's palace too, in pieces up against the wall. R2
Yes.
bumps or C-3PO bumps into him, right?
He's
Yes.
doing a weird Nazi salute in the torture chamber.
Yeah.
he's
right.
Yeah, that's a creepy character. I haven't thought about him yet. Damn, that is kind of scary. Wow,
Man, we're getting some. These are some great contenders for next year. Although, is the Gorax sentient or is the Gorax more of a creature? Oh yeah. Oh, that is a frightening picture.
That's
good.
That's the most nightmarish.
We're gonna
image.
have to haunt.
That's the one that's in
We're
my
gonna have
dreams.
to haunt all of your dreams. When this episode drops Friday, you're going to get nightmare fuel for the rest of your.
It's very
quarantine.
Metropolis. It looks like it should be in a 1920s
Yeah.
movie. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's even got
very
almost.
Art Deco.
It's got almost a human rib cage. Looking grid on the front of it too, it's very
Yeah.
When
rib
Sid
cage.
from Toy Story grows up, he makes this thing.
Yeah, and then he starts to kill prostitutes and stuff.
Right,
That's where that inevitably ends up if you listen to True
Absolutely.
Crime. Well, that's
Jerry, do you have any other people that didn't make it?
Scott.
I
He
have
put
one.
a baby doll head. He poked out one of its eyes and put it on a Connect spider crab body. It's sorry, Sid from Toy Story is just sadistic and weird. He also is man. I am just creating an entire side story for the character of Sid in the Toy Story universe where he
The Sidverse.
where he does become a serial killer. He's one of the trash men in the third Toy Story, and I'm oh man, I want Pixar to do a dark
like have I'm going off on a tangent, man. Have who directed I've got to get off of this.
Zack
Throw the
Snyder.
life preserver, someone.
I'm drowning. I'm drowning in. Oh, I can't think of the director's name. It's bugging the heck out of me. Anyway, I can't think of anybody.
All right. My background weirdo that I wish would have made it
Try to come back from that, Scott.
would be Bib Fortuna. Even though he's not much of a background weirdo, he was definitely a weirdo in the De La Donga, De La Winga. I have his Funko Pop. He's the only Funko Pop that I've ever seen with a mouth. He has a mouth. Can confirm. He's got sharp.
So
His Funko Pop's even creepy, and he's got the weird little neck, little testicles, or whatever they call them.
The little the skin tags.
so many questions that I do not want to know the answer to.
Like, why did they copy paste Jack Skellington from Night Before Christmas's smile onto him?
Well, I never understood why male Twi'leks are so much uglier than female Twi'leks. They're so ugly, like the one from the Mando episode. That
the
one
big
dude was
bulbous
just
head.
horribly ugly, and he had leaned forward and he was jacked. It was such a weird. That was such a weird
Think
thing.
about Orn Free Ta, the senator. That's
Yes.
like opulent,
Yes.
or corpulent. I just made up a new word, opulent. Do with that as you will. Corpulent, very giant.
A large guy.
Like they are not kind, except for Cham Syndulla is fairly, I think, decent looking.
Yeah.
But he's also a cartoon, so
Yes.
who knows? Who knows?
And
Animation does a lot for them. By the way, David Fincher, give David Fincher a Pixar movie, you cowards.
There you go.
Sid making a murderer or something. I don't know, Sid Vicious.
so, Jerry, do you have anyone that should have made it or no?
No. I'm just on the whole adults only Pixar David Fincher film about Sid being a murderer. So
Well, that's good.
Let's move on.
Okay,
Serial killer.
the two finalists
I
after
really
all
need
of
to
this
stop listening to
ended up being, I'm just going to talk over them. The two finalists after all of this ended up being Team OP Pit, which is a very strange circumstance.
No. Team Watt Pit.
Watt Pit.
Watt Pit.
Sorry.
You gotta give. Come on, give Watt Tambor some love, man. He's like, he has proved his mettle in this tournament. He's also proved that his radio signal is possibly not as strong, but that's okay.
Definitely. And our other finalist is apparently a favorite of this episode. I might know the winner already. Is Amala Keeley was the other one up against our WWE team Watt Peepit. And I don't know. I thought about going through each one of them, but these characters within themselves are all very unique in Star Wars. And I'm a Watt Tambor kind of guy. I'm not in the Malakili trained, but I don't know. I think I know the winner, and I don't want to reveal it. But does any other people have any final claims to make? Because it seems very obvious who we could all unanimously agree on is probably the victor of this. I don't know. Does anyone have any?
I had to turn the Malakili action figure around because I didn't like him staring at me.
Why is he crying when he's looking at you too? That's the weird. I don't know, because I deleted the tweet off of Twitter so that no one would know the results until this episode comes out, right? But this is the reason why Team Watt Pit exists, is because we had a 50-50 split, and we just decided to go WWE and have them join forces as heels. But I think, Malakila looks like he wrestles for WWE, or at least wants to. He's practicing in his backyard or something on his 12-year-old cousin. But this is we have a 50-50 split. Malakili versus Team Wat Pipit. You got to make sure and pronounce those T's. But what do you guys think? It comes down to us. So we are the deciding council. So what say ye? Majority rules. And we'll just maybe go around, starting with we'll start with Scott, and we'll go around and each make our verdict. And
which Scott? Sorry.
You, you,
right.
Scott.
All right. I'm assuming that it's like a tag team kind of thing.
Yeah.
For the Wat Pipit.
Yeah, Team Wat Pipit. It's like, in WWE when they sound, their of course their entry song has got to be like Final Countdown or something. And so then they like fly into the arena on wires and they kind of attack at the same. It's not fair. WWE has no rules.
You know how like they always like do the like tap the ref on the shoulder and they bring out the steel chair.
Yeah.
I like to think that Wat Tambor is the steel chair.
Oh my god!
So
that's incredible.
Wat Pipit or whatever his name is like swinging Wat Tambor into Malakili when the ref is distracted.
Wow!
But then,
oh my gosh.
I think that
great.
what turns the tide is like. The WrestleMania, like when it goes to like the handheld cam,
Yeah,
like
right.
who's coming up the gate?
Yes.
Right.
It's the Rancor, and the Rancor like puts us like he's able to pull the interloper out of the ring.
Yes.
Right.
And then when Malakili is like 1-on-1, he's just too hefty.
I love that in
sorry,
this.
you've glimpsed into my mind here.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that in this that you're saying that Malakili's tag partner is the Rancor, which is fantastic. Just like the Rancor just comes down, it's like, not my house or something or whatever.
Right.
Rancor 316 or whatever,
Rancor World Order.
Yeah.
So good. That's amazing. Great point, Scott. And I really do.
Okay.
I understand the perspective you're coming from, especially with the. If they already have a team going on, we got to have the Rancor show up too. And I would like to imagine the Rancor burst out the actual arena, not the arena. I'm sorry, the stage, like where they're actually in the box,
the entry,
in the ring. Yes, he's burst out the actual I don't know the big. I don't know where they're having a combative argument. But Chris, where are you at in this?
So, for I don't know, maybe an argument, or let me start over. Sorry. So for another maybe argument for Malakili here, I'll say that those tears you see, those aren't just the tears of a man who's lost its pet. There's something deeper there and far creepier in my opinion.
Wow!
What it is? Who knows? I will say this showdown has probably been foretold by Scott's action figure because the end of that long-handled vibroblade has 2 points on it.
And it vibrates. Oh my god!
I like how his tears come from like afición, he's got the passion.
Yeah.
Wow! It's like it had to happen this way, especially in this situation. Jerry, where do you stand now? It's been a long month for you posting these and making this happen, and I never thought Malakili would be the one I choose, but I'm really going to side with my two friends of We Serve Droids. Yeah, I think Malakili is the one I'm going with. What about you, Jerry?
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter what I think then, because you guys have already. But I think that if the Rancor had like an entry, the Rancor has to have an entry song. It would be this.
Oh my god!
Hold on. Wait for it. You hear that? You're like, oh! Who is
That's
it?
the Rancor's music.
You feel it? You feel the Rancor? We are gonna get flagged on YouTube for this.
Yeah.
Right? Wait for it. I thought it was like right at the beginning. Oh, he said a bad word. Hold on.
It's way further back than you think it is.
Oh, no, we have like It's in the Dallas Stadium. There it is. Rancor is coming to the stadium.
I can see it. Just killing people in the stands, just eating people.
Just like, yeah, he comes out and like, you know, like they walk past like all the fans that are on the floor right there, like behind the barricade. He's just grabbing them and biting their heads off as he goes. He's like, oh, you know, I mean, come on.
It's beautiful.
I honestly, just to be a heel, I'm gonna go Team P-Pit because I was kind of really hoping it. But they're the heels. You know what? I'm gonna give it unanimously to Malakili because I want Team P-Pit honestly to make. I want them to come into. I am formulating storylines in my head as we speak for next year. So
it's going to be the fan fiction we write about this. We're going to get some.
We might have to do. I don't know if I'm going to put you guys in the spot right now. We might have to do a joint effort of podcast and do like a tournament or something, and just like I don't know, like try to get everyone together on this and like really sell the death that is the Rancor and also Team P-Pit. But I don't know, guys.
Awesome.
Like. Again, Malakili is he's the clear victor, and he worked really hard to get there. He honestly did a lot of probing of people to get where he's at today, and he's worked hard, and I don't even want to know where that electro blade has been, electro staff, but it doesn't have a long handle for nothing, so.
Damn right.
Malakili. I say, here we go. Are we saying it's Malakili? Malakili is the winner of March Weirdness 2020. Let's hope we survive to 2021.
Well, that was amazing, boys. I honestly couldn't think of a better way to close out March and welcome in April. And with that being said, let's all just have a moment of silence for the Rancor and Malakili himself. Amen. Alrighty, so. Oh no! There's a Rancor bursting through the studio. Oh, could you imagine? I might do something later with that. That might be a post-production thing.
Dude, this has turned out way better than I ever thought it could. Whenever I first just kind of randomly text Scott in a feverish sweat at work, like we need to do a March Madness tournament of weirdos. This has been great. I've had a blast. I hope you guys have had a blast, and
awesome.
I really hope Scott and Chris. I hope you guys have had a blast, and that you will really come back and do this again with us sometime because this was just fantastic, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It was
fantastic.
We had to have you guys again. You know, like we at the Bombadcast, we have what we call the One and Only Club, and you guys are now proud members of the One and Only Club.
Yes,
which is basically everyone we ever have on the show. So it's just kind of one of our weird little bits.
adding to the list.
There you go, and maybe the Gorax will get on there eventually too. Who knows?
It's been a blast. Thanks so much for having us. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really thrilled that I don't have to edit this.
I actually love editing this stuff too. It's funny. Like it is a time consuming thing, but like this is going to be an absolute joy to edit. Thank y'all so much for joining. Seriously, this was a blast to have y'all on. And before we leave, give us your plugs. Where can the wonderful will find y'all?
Well, I mean, the usual places. WeServeDroids.com is our sort of like central hub.
Nice
it's
site.
got all of our episodes, links to where you can find us. It's got we do a lot of like kind of like little recurring bits. We do a themed cocktail for our main episode.
yes.
It's got the recipes
I
for
love that.
our drinks.
I almost
It's
asked
got-
you if you wanted to do a cocktail for this one, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to put you on the spot or anything. Next time,
Getting out to the liquor store is a little tougher than normal now.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And
it is.
and of course, we're on Twitter at We Serve Droids, and so if you Google We Serve Droids, you'll probably find us, or I don't know, some other weirdo that's probably also worth connecting with.
Worth
Probably
it.
find someone like Sid from Toy Story, I guess. So.
Yeah.
By David Fincher. No, no. Thank y'all so much for like being on this show, because like I just love knowing that the community we have just gets bigger and bigger every time we have guests on, and like this was such a fun episode. We've been doing this new thing this year where we've got fun, serious guest, and the guest one's always up in the air if it's going to be fun or serious, but like completely fun. And y'all really brought the bacon and the Rancor.
You guys
titties.
really landed the
So-
serious tone we were looking for, so thank you.
y'all did a
Yeah, we were bad at serious.
No, but seriously, thank y'all so much. And Jerry, I don't know if you want to do our little plugs. We can close it out.
Absolutely, guys. Again, go follow We Serve Droids. Seriously, such a great follow there. They do a great show and make some really good cocktails. So, go there for all of your weirdo cocktail needs. And also, you can find us at Bombadcast. Basically, again, search anywhere you find humans on the internet. You can't really find them anywhere else these days, except for at their homes. But search Bombadcast anywhere you look for people, and you will find us. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We're not on LinkedIn, but most of the things we're on. But you can
yet.
join our Facebook group, the Bombad Fam. Over there, it's a small little tight-knit group. We kind of just like hang out. We'll sometimes post things early there, ask special questions and stuff. So go hang out with us there. And check out our YouTube channel, all that. And until next time, guys, really get that hashtag for the David Fincher Sid movie going. Hashtag Sid
Yes.
Vicious. Or maybe not, because then people will just think it. Anyway, but other than that, stay bombad.
You, sir,